Okay, welcome back to Links London. It is freezing in here in the global headquarters. Does that come out on camera? So cold you can see your breath and the steam coming off my coffee. I thought I'd make a update video on the past, present and future of Links London. So I've got some notes here, quick recap on the progress so far, a list of excuses I haven't filmed for a few weeks, and our plans for the upcoming, it's a list of things to do, so plans for the future. So although there's been a video each and every week for the last few weeks, since the beginning of December, I haven't actually filmed any content for Links London since early December. And the reason there's still been a video each week is because I had a huge amount of content that I filmed throughout last year, from ideation, start up to the launch of the new Links London website. And that gave me about 2 or 3 month buffer of content, but that's running out. So we need to get cracking again. First up, a little recap of what we've done so far. So I've got 4 points here. The first one was the recap: start work on Links London in spring, start filming in summer 2024 when work began, got a computer, coffee machine, domain, website and stock. So yeah, the inspiration for Links London was the former British jewellery brand Links of London, which started trading in 1990, was sold to foreign investors in 2006. By late 2019, it was saddled with over £100 million worth of debt, bankrupt. They called in the administrators to try and find a buyer, but at the same time there were some serious accusations of what amounted to fraud against the family that controlled the parent company. So it made a hard sale impossible. Liquidators were called in and it was liquidated. That process was drawing to a close in 2024, and the catalyst for this was very much when the original website came up for auction. So we got involved in that, and I've made videos about that whole process and like every aspect of the startup, the ideation, startup, and then the launch of the website. Every process I filmed. That's why there's been so much content today. But yeah, that's how it began. And we got the computer, we got the coffee machine, filmed all of that, got a domain, made the website, and I started getting stock. What I wanted to do for stock was actually film because originally one of the original plans was to get the original website, get original Links of London stuff. They made some cool stuff and it was really well made. So to get the stuff, repair, restore and resell it on the original website. Didn't quite work out that way, but I did get quite a lot of stock, and I was hoping, or one of the plans was to film the restoration of each piece. However, that would have meant one piece a week. Is, for anyone that's made YouTube videos, doing it properly, one piece a week every week is doable, but life gets in the way. It sounds like the minimum requirement, but trust me, one video a week is a commitment that many people can't keep, probably including me. So yeah, and plus if I'd have done that, the aim was to get 50 or 60 by launch. It would have delayed the launch by a year just at one piece a week, so I didn't. But I have catalogued every single piece. Every piece I restored was then put for sale. Some of them have already sold, but I did create a, what did I call it, a design archive. So there is an archive of every piece we've restored, but I just didn't get the opportunity to film the restoration of each piece. But I hope to do restoration videos this year. So that was point one. Point two, we were waiting on legalities, so we couldn't launch until December because we were waiting on intellectual property until we actually got it in the November of 2024. We got the first piece of the puzzle, Links London, from the UK government's intellectual property office it's still an ongoing process actually. So no, we got a little bit further with that in December. I'd hope to have that finished by the end of December 2024. We had enough to launch. We had enough work done to launch on the 1st of December. We had enough to launch in November, but the website wasn't finished. But yeah, we managed to get the intellectual property, the main Links London done. But yeah, I can't say too much about it because it's an ongoing process. So, but I will share a lot of that when that story's got a beginning, middle, and end, regardless of the outcome. I'll share that later. But we can do we can carry on doing what we're doing now, but the outcome of that will determine the scope of what we can do in the future with Links London. So, website launch 1st of December 2024. I've written bad timing for customer service, but good for SEO, which is a good summary. Yeah. Anyone who's worked in retail, whether it's in face to face, in person, or online, will know it's a challenging time of year to deal with the public, especially here in London. You wouldn't want to be in the shops here. It's not getting better, put it that way. But yeah, it's a challenging time of year. Everyone wants everything quicker at the same time. Everything's grinding to a halt. So it's not a good time to launch anything. But like behind the scenes, the website, all of the Google tools, because of the website was going to a coming soon page, it was causing issues with all of Google's metrics and tools without it going live. We didn't know what was working or what was broke. We'd got as far as we could without it being live. So I wanted it live mainly for SEO purposes. It seems like a good time to launch the 1st of December. Obviously, financially, but a new website takes quite a long time to index on Google anyway. And yeah, the idea of the launch. So it was for search engine reasons, not financial ones. It's a terrible time to launch something, especially a business in giftware going into the busiest period of time, because you don't really want to be ironing out issues on customers buying Christmas gifts, a week before Christmas. But luckily, we did get orders almost immediately, and we did get a few orders throughout December. Luckily, it wasn't too busy, and luckily there wasn't any major issues, and we managed to resolve all of the behind the scenes SEO ones. But it takes time. You make changes, and Google doesn't necessarily update it. You'd think it would be instant. It's not. But yeah, the key point of that was the website launched in 1st December 2024. The aim was 100 restored vintage original products for the launch. Didn't get there. I got to 50, I think, and then the aim was then 100 by Christmas. I got to 60, and we were selling a few as I was going along. But yeah, so the last video I filmed was in early December, and it was the first sale, which seemed like a milestone. So I filmed that, an update. And then the excuses I've got here for not filming for the last 2 months. Christmas kicked in, and Christmas was predictably unpredictable. Through point 3, the aftermath and restock of Christmas, and then cold weather. So yeah, Christmas did kick in. It's kind of, it's a little bit unpredictable, but I think in recent years, Black Friday's changed things, because obviously it's effectively trained the public. Originally, it was to buy on Black Friday, because you'll get a discount. But now what they've done this year is they didn't sell enough, so then they discounted things even further on the Monday. So next year, why would you buy it on the actual Friday, when this year everything was discounted further on the Monday? You wouldn't. You'll buy it. So next year it's going to be, again, predicted. In theory, what you think is they're going to have a terrible Black Friday, because everyone's thinking they're going to get a better deal on Monday, because that's what happened this year. I wouldn't say it changes, but it definitely evolves slightly depending on what happened this year. So yeah, next year will be equally unpredictable. Obviously, the closer you get to Christmas, the more crazy things get, and it took us. It doesn't slow down. It slows down for a couple of days online before Christmas. This year it was a couple of days before Christmas because people know that they're not going to get items delivered, or well, most do. Some are still hoping, but it dies down, and then Christmas Day it kicks back off again, and it causes a lot of issues as well because people are expecting normal deliveries, which just doesn't happen. So I'm starting to think the juice is not worth the squeeze. It causes so many issues because of people's expectations. Like throughout the year now, if you order something on Amazon today, you might get it later today or tomorrow at the latest. Whereas the week before Christmas, people expect that normal service. It just doesn't exist. Well, it's not. It's unpredictable. So yeah, the aftermath and Christmas got in the way. It's a crazy time, and then it doesn't stop until everyone goes back to work, which seems to be about the 3rd of January, 4th of January now, and then we spend weeks just dealing with returns, restocking. Yeah, it's not Christmas Day done. Next Valentine's Day, it goes on for the aftermath is weeks, and I'm just those pile there are actually restocking Amazon right now. So we're still and it's at the time we film this, it's I think it's the 18th of February, so we still haven't finished. So also a big thing I've got in here is in bold is filming slows progress. Like I was saying with the charms, you try and film something, it makes it take exponentially longer. Setting up the character, just thinking through the shots, and then editing the footage. So yeah, if you try and doing something that takes a long time is one thing, filming it makes it take so much longer. So yeah, I didn't film anything pretty much I didn't film anything at all from the start of December till now, when we'll start again. The other thing was the cold weather. I don't know if you can see my breath. It's been for about the last month. It's been closer to 0 than 5 degrees every day, and I don't want to be out here for too long. You start to lose dexterity. It starts to get uncomfortable, and then I start dropping things and pinging gemstones all over. It's fine for I've made all these rings here recently, like just piles of rings, which are relative. I've been picking the jobs I do, relatively straightforward things. Making simple band rings is one thing. Pave setting in 0 degrees is another. You spend more time picking up gemstones off the floor than setting them. So yeah, the cold weather ends in 2 days' time. So yeah, I think we've got 3 weeks of content left, but 2 days of freezing cold weather. So in a couple of days, I can start filming jewelry videos again. I've got a t-shirt, 2 jumpers on, a tracksuit, and a pair of jeans on at the minute, and I'm freezing. So hopefully the temperature goes from 0 to about 10 degrees centigrade in a couple of days. And in theory, wearing all this, I'd actually be hot. At 0, there's no amount of clothing I can put on. Maintain like enough dexterity to make jewelry and stay warm. So yeah, in 2 days' time, when we get to a balmy 10 degrees centigrade, we're back in business filming, and I've got a whole list of things here that are coming soon. So first was the update, which is this video here. New logos. I made new logos. I've got a story about they're done, but I need to share them, and I've got the story behind those for links on Valentine's Day, which has just happened, and plans for next year already, and Christmas all year is the next thing. We've got Christmas has just been done, and while it was fresh in my mind, I've already made plans for Christmas 2025. We're actually going to have Christmas all year, and it's just going to be available all year, but I'm going to make a whole video about that. It's a bit like it's just going to make sense from a behind the scenes. I'm not hoping to sell stuff all year, but it's going to make life so much easier nearer the time if the products are available all year and we just live them up. Or well, not even live them up, they'll be live, but we just link to them. But I'll make a whole video about that. The next thing was a light tent. Yeah, I have a lot of the products, a lot of the Lynx products. I don't know if I probably haven't got everything here now, but most of the stuff I was photographing, I've got a little light box. When I say little, it will take most items of jewellery, even up to a choker and a jewellery box. But a lot of the Links of London stuff I've got for restoration, I've got champagne flutes, which come in a massive box, won't fit in it. And annoyingly, before I moved in here, I had a light tent, big one, which I've been moving around for the last 10-15 years, moving it out of the way from one shelf to another. But you know what? I'm running out of room in here. I'm throwing that away. No sooner as I've thrown it away, I needed it for these bigger pieces, and it's mainly the bigger boxes, because with the vintage stuff you need to photograph the box they come in, and it's challenging without. So I've got this massive, I thought it was about this big. It's 1.2 meters. They didn't specify the size. So yeah, that's going to be something else to move around. So yeah, I've got a light tent. We'll have a go with that. AI models was another thing. I've been experimenting quite a lot with AI. Every time I have a conversation with people about AI, they completely dismiss it. But I've lived through that with the mobile phone, with the internet. Everyone was like, that will never take off, because they would, they would walk around. When I was saying to people I'm launching an online shop in like the early 2000s, they were saying, oh yeah, I've tried the internet. It's not very good. I'll never put my credit card details on it, and yeah, try and find a bank here in London now. So yeah, at the minute everyone's dismissing AI. It's early days. It's not that it's not going to be a thing. It's just, what are we going to do? Not what is AI going to do. What are we going to do? So yeah, I've been playing with AI models. I'll make a video about that. Hallmarking. Registered with the Goldsmiths Company Assay Office here in London, so I'll make a video about the registration. Charm restoration. I've restored over 100 charms so far. There's some up there, there's charms everywhere. So I need to make a recap, and we'll restore one. I'm quite good at it now, after 100. I've got the hang of it. So I'll make a video about that. Oval cufflinks. I've got a pair of, like, Links of London was founded as a cufflink business, so I think a good place to start with the restoration video would be cufflinks. So I've got some sort of classic oval cufflinks to restore. They are hopefully a bit simple, clean and polish. Packaging. I've had to get some packaging for the charms, because most of the charms we're getting have no original packaging, and I can find bits and pieces of packaging, but a lot of it's now quite tatty. So I've got some packaging for the, especially it's nice just to have, if people are gifting restored, it would be it's one thing to buy a second-hand charm off eBay or Etsy, but if you're buying a restored one, it makes sense to have, unless it's definitely its original packaging, it makes sense to have some nice packaging, especially if it's a gift. So I've got that sorted out, but that's a work in progress. Well, that's why it needs a video. I've got another thing for cufflinks. I think I've got a lot of pieces actually, which I've been waiting to restore, which I thought would make a good video. So I've restored a lot of things, but yeah, there's bits and pieces here, there, and everywhere. There's a bracelet there that needs restringing that I managed to get. So yeah, cufflinks, logo and punches. So that is not the hallmarks, but branded punches for hallmarking tags, where the pieces, I think that's going to be for reproducing the original style hallmark tags, and possibly new pieces moving forwards. We'll figure that out by the time I get around to making the video. So gift cards. I need to make some gift cards. That'll be a video. Branded gift cards. Bracelet restringing. Getting asked quite a lot. I've received quite a few messages about restringing services, and it's not something we're offering at the minute, but we're basically signposting at the minute to people in the right direction that need their bracelets restringing. Someone contacted, said they bought one recently and it broken and they needed it repaired under warranties. Really? You bought that recently from a company that went bankrupt 5 years ago. Yeah, it's There's not the only one of those that have come out of the woodwork that bought something recently. They need a free replacement. Authenticity checks. Yeah, I think we need to do those on some of the outrageous claims people are making. But yeah, authenticity checks is a lot of people. One of the key searches online was how to tell if your links and stuff is real. There's a lot of fakes out there. I've got some of them that have come in bundles of charms, and that it's a video that we can make, but unfortunately they're real. Some of the fakes are really good, like couldn't tell until I polished it off, till I polished the plating off. That good, like you could date the hallmarks. They're good. So it's difficult, but we can make that video and give people a how-to. It's not, unfortunately, I know what people want, and that's a simple. They want to know how to do it quick, simply, easily, and for free, and that unfortunately is not a thing. But it is possible to tell if they're real or not. Sweetie ring restringing. So like the bracelets that run elastic, I've got one here actually that I've been saving for that. They made elastic sweetie rings. They look incredibly fiddly to restring actually. So I've not done one, so that will be thought that would be a cool video to make our first. Not only it's not going to be a how-to, it's going to be the first go. Watch restringing. I've got watches as well, which are similar in design to, much closer in design to the ring. The ring's almost like a reduced scale version of the watch rather than the bracelet. So we can restring a watch. First hallmarks. When we get our application to the Goldsmiths Company Assay Office has been approved, but we're just waiting for them to make our sponsors marks at the moment, the punches. They'll be here. Actually, they should be here any day. When we get the punches back, we can make some stuff and go through the submission process. I'll make one video about the registration process and another about the submission process, and then another one is Christmas is not like it's used to be. It's probably be a rant video. I don't know, I should have probably done that fresh after Christmas, but we'll do that for that. We'll line that one up. To me, I've worked in the jewelry trade since the late 90s, and from the first Christmas, people with lifetime's experience were saying it's not like it used to be, and I can tell you it hasn't got any better. So yeah, it's not like it used to be, and from what I was told, it's definitely not like it used to be before my time. So yeah, that's a lot to be getting on with. That's 20 videos. We've got 3, so that's 6 months work right there. So I'm gonna make another coffee and go somewhere warm. See you in the next one, guys. Toodles.